Good afternoon, Vernon. My name is Karen Davino, and I'm the superintendent of schools here in Vernon. You probably see one familiar face next to me to my right, and probably two faces that you don't know. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the International Student Program. I'm super excited that in the fall of 22, which is coming up just a few months away, we're actually going to be welcoming our first international students to Vernon, which is super exciting. Mrs. Goodenkoff, who's our supervisor of guidance, has been working with me, and she's going to talk in just a few minutes about her responsibilities in this program. Caitlin Ferrari is next to her. Caitlin is one of our counselors up here at the high school. She has a very special task in this program as well. And Lisa Curry, to my left, is going to talk to you as well today about how this team and some other folks as we move forward are going to welcome international students to Vernon High School. Just a little bit of background. I asked the Board of Education a few years ago, pre-COVID, if we could begin an international program. They graciously approved the program, and we have a partnership with a company called Educatious. During COVID, of course, we did not accept any students to our schools. We were barely here at all, right? We were virtual for a lot of that time. But now that things are opening up and we're trying to get a little bit back to normal, I'm really, really excited about this opportunity. So, Mrs. Goodenkoff, why don't we start by talking with you, and if you don't mind sharing with the audience, how difficult, what are some of the things that have to happen for an international student to come here? You're kind of the port of entry, right, for this program. So why don't you share with the audience a little bit about what that looks like and how that happens?
Absolutely. So for Educatious, we had to share information about our school, our district, what they would be coming to, and seeing if Vernon would be something that they would be interested in, attending.
And kudos to you. Mrs. Goodenkoff put together a beautiful presentation, a great slideshow, and Educatious said this is wonderful, and we know that there are students who want to come to Vernon High School, so job well done.
So they look at various schools, and I am happy to say that in this process, in a short amount of time, we have students that have said they want to come to Vernon and they're excited to be part of our district. So they will apply, and I look through their application to make sure that they'd be a good fit, that it's someone that would, succeed in our district. And once I look at their application, then I go forward and accept them, and then from there I have to fill out what's called an I-20,
right.
And that helps them to be able to come to the United States and then to exit the United States.
Right, and that's very, very official, right? All of the things that Mrs. Goodenkoff is talking about, the I-20, students have to come on a visa. You can't just get on a plane and come and decide to go to Vernon High School, right? There's a process, and that all is through governmental agencies that we had to be approved to work with, right? So this was all of your work. So you approved the I-20, and what are we looking at for the fall so far?
So far, I'm excited to say that we have 3 students that are accepted to come to Vernon High School. And right now, one student is from Germany, 2 are from Spain, and they are all entering 10th grade.
Exciting. So if you're a rising sophomore, you will have 3 really interesting students to be part of your class and with your classmates for next year, which is really exciting, right? So let's talk a little bit to Caitlin Ferrari. Caitlin is new up here at the high school. So for those of you who don't know her, she's one of our counselors. Welcome. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
And she is going to actually be the point person, if you will, for our students that are coming from abroad. And of course, she has a regular caseload of dealing with her regular students, which is great. But having one specific counselor is super important. So tell us some of the reasons why you might want to check in with international students when they come over to be with us in the fall.
Of course. So yes, I'm very excited that I'll be the school counselor for our international students. For starters, I'll meet with them to schedule for their classes for the year, and then continue to provide them with academic and social emotional support, and just make sure that they're acclimating with their peers. Obviously, they're coming from a different country, which is most likely different from the United States and then even Vernon. So, just checking in with them and making sure that they're doing okay, checking with their host families and whatnot. So just making sure that they're adjusting well. And of course, I can meet with them throughout the year to make sure they're progressing in their classes. And if they need any assistance with tutoring or etc., just what I would be doing with my regular caseload as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I mean, one of the things you named that's so important really are the cultural differences, right? When we have children coming even from other places, and that we've had children transfer here to Vernon from not Sussex County, right? We've had students, especially after COVID, we had many students come to us from urban areas, and there's a transition period, right? We want to make sure that those children are comfortable getting the classes they need to graduate, but also making sure that they're forming good relationships and understanding social cues. There have been a lot of challenges during COVID, right? So Lisa Curry has been approved as the local coordinator, and this is the local coordinator is somebody who Educacious coordinates with. You've actually been trained already as the local coordinator, so congratulations.
Thank you.
She's been through some training. So why don't you talk to us a little bit about some of your responsibilities?
So I've been working with Joanne Rutenberg, who is the Educacious Regional Manager, and she's been training me. And my biggest role is to be a to do host family recruitment, and I will be matching those students with families.
Host families. So this is the perfect time to start your plug, right?
Yes.
So if there's anybody
So
at
I'm super
home
excited.
who's interested in being a host family, so think about it. You might be, maybe your child has gone off to college and you've got an extra bedroom. Maybe you have an extra room because you have an extra room. Maybe your son or daughter goes here to Vernon High School and is an only child and would love to have an international friend come and join the family for a year. Any other things? Other families, it could also be a younger child, right? If you're a parent of K to 8, you don't have to have a child at the high school. You could also be a retired person, right?
Empty nest.
Feeling
a little empty
feeling
nest.
like you might want. So if they want to get in touch with you, would they get in touch with you, Lisa?
Yes, my information will be coming out. We'll be sending out flyers, posting. I will also be a part of Vernon Day. I will be attending Vernon Day with a table which
is in June, right? If I'm not mistaken.
June
That's
18th
great.
from 11 to 4.
And
Range.
we can actually take your information and put it in this podcast, thanks to the magic of Magic Matt Shea. He will put right along the bottom of the screen your email information. That would be helpful, right?
Yes.
If people are interested.
I have a Educacious email address.
That's great.
Where everybody can contact me.
And ironically, and Lisa, she's an employee of the district, but she's working with Educacious. Talk to us a little bit about maybe the coordination between you and Caitlin that might occur in the fall when the kids get here.
So after the recruitment process, the kids will arrive 10 days prior to the start of the school year, and then I will give the host family a orientation as well as the student, work with Caitlin to do a little touring and meeting everybody.
Coordinating, I think, between Caitlin and the host family, right? To make sure that everybody's on the same page, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're a host family, don't feel nervous about stepping up. The benefits, I think, outweigh the concerns, right? I know that when Lisa was a student at Glen Meadow, although she wasn't in a host family situation, her cousin came to live with her, and your cousin's from Ecuador, correct?
Yes.
Right, and she attended Glen Meadow with you?
Yes.
So what was her experience like at Glen Meadow?
She stayed the full year with me. Her experience was wonderful, and I was just sharing that she ended up staying.
She ended up moving here from
Yes,
Ecuador. Yeah,
yes.
so she had a great American school
Yes.
experience. Yeah. So our international students don't have the option to move here, but we know that our students have good experiences here in the district, and we want to provide that for children, beyond. The other thing that I think is important to share with the audience was one of the reasons why I felt it was really important to bring a program like this to Vernon is that many of our students, and those of you at home know, they start probably in kindergarten or first grade at Walnut Ridge, and they go all the way up through our schools, and they graduate Vernon High School, and there's probably a chance that they come back here and settle down. I know that that's the case for some people. But when you go to college, or if you go somewhere else, there's a chance you have a roommate who's not from Vernon, right? Or who's not from Sussex County. And the experiences can be a little bit challenging. So the exposure to diverse students and international students from across the country, across the world rather, is really a wonderful opportunity. I'm also going to share a quick peek that I'm working with Mr. Shea on some really excellent technology that will allow our our foreign international students to probably showcase their homes via some really cool tech that we're working on for next year. So our students can actually, international students can show their hometown or their school or their church or their families to the other students here in Vernon, which really gives our children here in Vernon the opportunity to feel like they're visiting the village that somebody comes from in Germany or the village in Spain. And these are the opportunities that our children in Vernon wouldn't have if we didn't have, international students coming. With Educatius, we are only working on 5 students for the first year, so please don't worry. There's plenty of room here at the high school for everyone. This is a pilot program. It's brand new to us, but we're really, really excited. And you'll hear a little bit more from this team as we progress through it. Anything else I'm leaving out, ladies, that you can think of may be important?
I think the only thing that I didn't mention is all 3 students will be here for the full year. They do have the option of being here for a semester or a full year, and all 3 will be here for the full year, which
right.
I think would be
yes. And if I'm not mistaken, every student that we accept has to be fully proficient in English. So no worries for our teachers to think that you're going to have a German student coming in who can't speak English. So, of course, even though we have a vibrant ELL program here in the district, our international students have to be on par for the needs of our high school, right? So that's part of what you do in making sure that their transcript is that they're good students, they're going to be here, they're speaking the language, they're comfortable in an international situation, and excited to be a part of living with a host family and all of the wonderful things that Vernon has to offer, like skiing and snowboarding or apple picking or anything else that we have in the area. So,
and I just want to also let everybody know that, feel free to ask me any questions, but if you're thinking about it or you're hesitant and maybe a full year, you're not sure yet, you can also do a semester.
Good point. As a host family, you can do a semester.
Family,
great.
You can do a semester. If you have a friend, hey, we kind of want to share the opportunity. There's opportunity for everybody.
That's a great idea.
Full year, semester, you can be part of a welcome family committee.
That's
you
great.
can be a backup host family. Hey, maybe I don't want to do it for the full year. I want to see how it is. And be a backup.
I think that's wonderful. So don't forget to reach out to Lisa Kerr if you have questions. The other thing too is that remember it's a really wonderful learning opportunity for our families as well, and other things that we're looking at expanding, although we're not there yet because it's only the end of April. But the other things we're looking at are possible students here at the high school who want to be ambassadors, who would be volunteering to connect with the international students when they come, almost like a partner or a buddy, and would be really helpful. We're talking about some trips for the students to participate in, whether it's quarterly or monthly, doing things, like heading into the city. And one of the reasons that Vernon is starting to get a lot of, attraction by our international students is that we are just really outside of New York City. We're right in the corridor for Washington, D.C., Boston, right? There's a lot of really wonderful opportunity north and south of Vernon, and I think that's why we're getting a lot of students really interested in coming here. So don't worry, Vernon, there's more to come. And don't forget, you have Caitlin Ferrari, one of our new counselors up here at the high school, who's going to do a wonderful job. Kristen Gudenkoff, who has worked tirelessly through the issuing the I-20s, looking at transcripts, understanding all of the legal stuff through the Department of Homeland Security, and Lisa Curry, who's our local coordinator. More to come about the international program. We are really excited about this. Can't wait to welcome some new students to Vernon from across the ocean.